Hey everyone, let's just jump right into today's explainer, because we're looking at something totally groundbreaking in the world of public administration and criminal justice. Here's a fact that might completely surprise you. In 2025, the Kenya Prison Service, partnering up with Finstock Evarsity College, is rolling out a massive artificial intelligence training module for its officers. And we're not just talking about some minor IT update here. Now, this is a top-to-bottom reimagining of how correctional facilities work, shifting them away from manual, paper-based custody into a highly advanced, digitally empowered system.
Which immediately brings up a really fascinating, provocative question, right? Can artificial intelligence actually make prisons more humane? Usually when we think of AI in this context, we picture cold efficiency, maybe some intense surveillance. But the source material we're exploring today frames this as a vital journey. A journey to figure out exactly how we balance high-tech efficiency and predictive data with strict, uncompromising ethical safeguards to actually protect human dignity.
Okay, let's dive into the roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with AI entering Kenyan prisons, move to smart security and surveillance, then personalizing inmate rehabilitation. After that, we'll tackle the ethical balancing act, building the digital workforce, and wrap it all up with a human-centered future.
All right, Section 1, AI enters Kenyan prisons, beyond custody to digital transformation.
So this whole initiative doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It actually aligns perfectly with Kenya's Vision 2030 and their digital economy blueprint. The overarching goal here is a massive structural shift for the Kenya Prison Service, moving them away from those isolated, dusty manual records into a fully integrated, data-driven ecosystem. But here's the key takeaway. AI is absolutely not here to replace human officers. Instead, those frontline officers have to evolve. They won't just be guarding cells anymore. They'll need to step up as digital operators, data stewards, and really ethical guardians who actively interpret the tech running the facility.
Moving on to Section 2, Smart Security and Surveillance, Intelligent Monitoring in KPS.
Let's look at how this tech actually gets applied, starting with the absolute highest stakes area of any prison, physical security. If we compare the old manual approach of basically just watching CCTV monitors and reacting to incidents after the fact, the new AI-enabled reality is a total game changer. By using computer vision and predictive anomaly detection, these systems can automatically flag risks before they escalate. So in high-density places like Comiti Maximum or Naivasha Prison, this predictive modeling is meant to catch things like sudden group formations or aggressive motions before a riot or severe incident even has a chance to kick off.
And the applications go way deeper than just cameras. We're talking AI-enabled X-ray scanners that can analyze the specific density and texture of hidden contraband, like phones or drugs, way better than a human eye ever could. Plus, they're linking facial recognition up to national databases like Huduma Namba and eCitizen to completely prevent visitor impersonation at the perimeter. They're even bringing in digital forensics to track cyber threats inside the prison's own network.
All right, Section 3. Personalizing inmate rehabilitation, data-driven reintegration.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the juxtaposition between these cold, calculating algorithms and actual human behavioral reform. We're moving away from a one-size-fits-all education style and basic behavioral logs over to customized AI tutoring and predictive tracking. The system will actually be able to track things like emotional tone and communications and daily participation levels. The idea is to use that data to predict an inmate's readiness for parole or even spot early warning signs if someone's mental health is starting to regress.
And to tackle a very real problem, which is the severe shortage of human instructors, they're bringing in AI adaptive learning platforms. This means rolling out virtual classrooms and chatbots to help inmates learn essential digital and vocational skills. It's all designed to line up perfectly with Kenya's competency-based curriculum and TVET frameworks. So when these individuals are finally released, they're actually prepared for the modern workforce.
Which brings us to Section 4, the Ethical Balancing Act, Rights, Privacy, and Algorithms.
Look, deploying AI in places where human freedoms are already so restricted carries some truly massive moral implications. So let's ground ourselves with the module's exact definition. Ethical AI in corrections means artificial intelligence designed to enhance inmate welfare and security without compromising human dignity. It's got to be transparent and prevent algorithmic bias. The source material is very impartial but extremely clear about the risk here. Because AI trains on historical data, an unchecked predictive system could easily amplify old biases against certain demographic groups, which could lead to totally unfair profiling or discriminatory parole decisions.
This ethical imperative is directly anchored in Kenyan law. specifically Article 28 of the 2010 Constitution, along with international benchmarks like the UN Nelson Mandela Rules. The training module lays it out very clearly. These automated systems must never, ever undermine fundamental human rights. Technology's just a tool, right? Human rights always have to take the front seat.
So, the crucial point is how the KPS actually plans to govern all this. They're setting up some very strict ethical frameworks. First, justice and fairness, which means constantly auditing the algorithms for bias. Next is privacy, requiring absolute compliance with the 2019 Data Protection Act. And finally, accountability. This one is huge. Human officers will always retain final responsibility. Automation is never going to replace human moral judgment.
Moving on to Section 5, building the digital workforce, implementing the AI framework.
Now, you might be wondering, how does KPS plan to build this futuristic setup with their current workforce? Well, they're doing a very careful phase rollout. Phase 1 is all about piloting and learning, testing AI surveillance and admin tasks in just 2 or 3 facilities. Once that's stable, Phase 2 focuses on expansion, bringing AI into rehabilitation and case management. Finally, Phase 3 is full institutionalization. That means embedding AI into all standard operating procedures and actually developing homegrown, local AI models.
But to pull the whole shebang off, they need comprehensive training across every single rank. Level 1 ensures that every frontline officer gets foundational digital literacy and ethics training. Level 2 steps it up, teaching applied AI and data management for middle management. And Level 3 targets the big decision makers, senior administrators, and the Commissioner General, making sure the leadership fully grasps AI strategy and how to coordinate with other agencies.
Finally, Section 6, a human-centered future, empathy in the digital age. Bringing everything back to the human element, the ultimate vision laid out in the source is a unified national digital justice ecosystem. To make this a reality, KPS is establishing an AI innovation hub. They're aiming for tight coordination with the judiciary, the police, and the Ministry of ICT. Plus, they're leaning heavily into public-private partnerships with local tech startups. They want to create indigenous, context-sensitive solutions rather than just buying imported tech off the shelf.
And I want to leave you with this really powerful quote straight from the training module's preface. Technology should serve humanity, not the other way around. That right there reinforces the core philosophy driving the Kenya Prison Service. Yes, the future is digital. Yes, AI is going to run the heavy analytics. But the heart of corrections, the empathy, the judgment, that deep focus on rehabilitation, that has to stay deeply human.
Which leaves us with this final provocative thought to ponder. As technology keeps evolving at this breakneck speed, how will digital justice reshape the future of human rights worldwide? Kenya's taken a really bold first step here, but the intersection of predictive algorithms and human liberty, that is a conversation we're all going to be having globally for decades to come. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those great questions, and I'll catch you next time.